Yeah, so let's get started. So step on your mat. So make sure your feet hip distance apart. And let's just start doing some warm up. So bring our heel towards our glutes. So let's warm up our quads. You can hold on to the wall or, a piece of furniture or anywhere to keep your balance. And then we stretch the other quad. Keep breathing, keep engaging our core for support. As always, I mentioned at the start of the class, three main principles of Pilates: posture, core engagement, and breathing. So bring the heel, your heel to the floor. I'm doing my right heel here. Then I flex my toes towards my shin and I bend the left leg, the other leg, the opposite leg. And then you hinge from your hips on top of your legs. You can reach for your toes, or you can just have your hands on your thighs. We're just stretching the back of the leg there that's extended, the hamstrings of the leg that's extended. So we switch then. So bend the other knee, flex the other leg, and extend the opposite. Now, again, you can try and reach for your toes if you want, or hold on to the sole of your foot, or just have your hands on top of your thighs, and that's fine too. Now, come back to standing. One more time, stretch your quads on your right leg, and then on your left leg. Now, let's just do some soldier walk, or walking on the spot and moving the arms, so opposite leg and opposite arm, just waking up the joints on the shoulder, and the knees, and the hips. Try and keep the torso, your upper body is stable, moving just the legs and the arms, and then go back to standing in neutral, stop moving the legs and the arms. So I'll invite you to go onto the mat, sitting onto the mat, and we do the next phase of the warm-up, sitting on the mat. Let's just roll our shoulders back a few times, and then roll our shoulders forward a few times. Now, sitting in neutral means your sit bones are on the floor evenly. Weight of the body is distributed on your sit bones. So chin to chest, and let's roll our neck. Right ear to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. And let's increase the rotation of the neck each time we go around. Be gentle and slow. Working our way towards doing a full circle. And when you do your first, then go over to the other side and do a full circle to the other side. When your chin's towards your chest, then lift your head to neutral. Just bring right ear to right shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head. I have my right ear to my right shoulder, my right hand on top of my head, my left hand on the floor. Stay here just for 2 breaths. Make sure you bring your shoulders down away from the ears. Now remove the hand. Head goes back to neutral. Then left ear to left shoulder. Your hand comes on top of your left hand now on top of your head, and the palm of the right hand on the floor. Just 2 breaths here, just stretching the lateral of our neck. Now, head comes back to neutral. Lift one hand and flex to one side. Exhale, flex. Make sure your sit bones are in contact with the floor. Don't lift, especially your right sit bone if you're flexing to the left. Inhale, push with the left hand. Right hand comes onto the floor. Lift the left arm. Inhale, exhale, flex to the right now. Now I'll push through the right hand to go back to standing and do one more time each side. So inhale, lift, exhale, flex. Stay here for 1 breath. Now push and flex to the other side again. Now, I'll roll onto all fours and I'll do a couple of cat-cow stretch. So on your hands and knees, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Inhale, look up, sit bones go up, belly goes towards the floor. And then I exhale, push the floor away, tuck my sit bones, curve my spine up towards the ceiling. Inhale. The opposite, look up, sit bones up, and then exhale, sit bones down, head down, spine curled up. Inhale, flow with the breath. Inhale, look up, sit bones up and spread. Exhale, extend the arms, push the floor away from you, spine towards the ceiling. Inhale, as you look up, you can soften your elbow and use the traction of your hands on the floor to exaggerate the curvature of the spine. Inhale, go back to neutral. From here, I want you to extend one leg and extend the other, then bring right ear to right elbow, left knee to left elbow, right knee to right elbow. So knee to elbow. And then start to speed up the movement. We're doing the rock, the mountain climber. Some people call this warm up. Engage your core and just speed up a little bit. Knee to elbow, and then slow down. And bring it back to plank, knees to the floor, sit back onto your heels, child pose, stretch your shoulders and your back. Okay, so should be warmed up now. I want you to lie on your back, and we're doing the preparation for the jackknife. So lie on your back, legs are extended, arms alongside your body, hands pushing against the floor, and neck in neutral, shoulders relaxed down. Inhale to prepare, engage your core. On the exhale, we'll lift the legs, knees extended, toes pointed towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring the legs all the way down, legs touch the floor again. So let's do 7 times. So 7 times, lifting the legs, using your core strength, engage your core. Exhale, lift, hands pushing against the floor, arms are engaged. Down, heels touch the floor, and then you exhale and lift again. Inhale, bring your heels to touch the floor, toes pointed, and 3. Engage your legs, engage your core. 4, 3 more. 5, do it slowly and same pace as you're breathing. 6, and 7. Inhale all the way down. Bend your knees, bring them in towards your chest, hands on your shin, and roll left to right. Just massage your low back a little bit. Okay, so bring your feet onto the floor when you're ready. We're doing a modification of the double leg stretch. So I'll have one foot flat on the floor, bring one leg to tabletop, bring my shoulder and my head off the floor. My hands are to the outside of my knee. Exhale, stretch our leg and circle the arm. Inhale, they come back to starting position to the center. So we do it 6 times on each side. So 6 times on this leg. 1, 2, keep your core engaged and keep your shoulders and head off the floor. 3, 4, and when you extend your legs, don't touch the floor as well. 5, and 6. So I extend my leg fully, but it doesn't touch the floor, it hovers above the floor. Now, bring your feet flat on the floor, 2 feet, head and shoulder down, and then lift the other leg to tabletop. Exhale, lift your shoulders and your head again, and we do the same on this side. So you can do 6 times. I'll do 7 because I did 7 on the other leg. So fully extend your knees and then bend your knees to bring in to the center again, knee above the hips. 3, exhale, extend and circle the arm. 5, 6, I'll do 7. You guys can do 6, or you can follow me and do 7 together. So knees, feet flat on the floor, extend your legs, extend your arms, open over behind your head, full body stretch, 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 full body, and release. Now, we roll onto our side. You can stay lying on the floor because we're doing side kick lying on the floor. So use the long edge of your mat as a guideline to as straight your body is. So just check in. You can also flex your toes towards your shin. You see the toes. When you point them, you shouldn't see them anymore. That should indicate to have your legs on a straight line. First of all, sorry, have your ears, sorry, your right ear resting on your bicep. So I have my right ear on my right bicep, and I'm lying on my right side of my body, okay? My fingertips in front of my navel for support. Keep your shoulders open, your chest open here. Exhale, lift the head, one leg, top leg, and then exhale, the bottom leg meets the top leg at hip height. So the legs are at hip height, they're not too high. Stay here for 10 breath cycles, keeping your legs lifted. Keep your shoulders being drawn back. So keep drawing your shoulders back, your chest be open. Engage your core. When you engage your core, it's like you have a gap between your waist and the floor. And the hand that's the arm that's extended on the floor, that hand, the palm facing up towards the ceiling. Halfway there, engage your legs, engage your hips. And try and bring your hands to rest on your thigh. If it's too hard to keep the balance, bring your fingertips on the floor again. So see, you have the option to remove the hands or keep the hands. And then on the 10th breath, bottom leg comes down and then the top leg comes after. And you bring your heels in. Well, your heel, the top leg, the heel comes in towards the glutes, stretching the quads. So now, you can bend your legs, use your hands to push yourself up to seated. And we're doing the spine twist. So you have your knees bent, have your arms stacked on top of each other. And we're doing exhaling, twist to the right, inhale, back to center. Keep your nose in line with your chest bone or breastbone all the time, so your head moves with the spine. So that's one round, 2, let's do 7. 7 times twisting to each side. 2, inhale, center. 3. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. If you feel like you're tensing them, shrugging them up towards the ear, and bring them down. I'll do it 2 more times. That's 5, 6, and 7. In Pilates, we inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. So keep that nice Pilates breath. Bring your hands down onto the floor, extend your legs, shake your legs, open your chest towards the ceiling. And then we're lying on our left side, or if you did the left side, you can do the right side now, but I'm on my left. And then I'll do the side kick. It's a modification, it's level 1 of the movements because we're not kicking the leg. So my left ear on my right, on my left biceps, and then I check in with my legs by flexing and pointing my toes or just using the edge of the mat as a guideline. And then engage my core, create that gap between your waist and the floor, and then lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg to meet the top leg at hip height. Keep your chest open, legs are engaged, core is engaged. 10 breaths. Deep and long breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Try and remove your hands off the floor, see if you can keep your balance. If it's too hard, bring your fingertips on the floor again. Sometimes they're more balanced on one side than on the other, and that's fine. It's a normal thing. No, I couldn't. I'm not very well balanced today on this left side. So just stay here for the next 3 breaths. If you feel like you lost your balance and you fall or something, just go back to the position where you were before and continue the movement. And heel in towards the glutes, stretch your quads, and then push yourself up to seated. And we're doing the leg full prone. So, but we're not moving the leg, we're not lifting the leg. So we're doing the plank for 10 breath cycles or for as long as you can hold it. So all fours, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, and then you extend one leg, extend the other, keep your neck neutral, looking down at the mat. Modifications here is you can do plank on your forearms instead of having the arms extended. Have your elbows under your shoulders and do the plank on your forearms and your toes, or even on your knees and forearms. Once you've found your plank, be it on your forearms or arms extended, then you just engage your core, engage your full body, make sure your neck's in neutral, looking down forward. Deep and long breaths. If you have your hands on the floor, spread your fingers. Three more breaths. When you can't hold it anymore, then you can bring your knees onto the floor, sit back onto your heels, open your knees wide as your mat, and then let your body fall in the gaps between your two legs. Sit back onto your heels, extend your arms. And then now you can bend your elbows and bring your wrist to rest behind your head. And doing this, you release tension of your shoulders. And when you're ready, let's go to lying on our back again. And we're doing the, oh, sorry guys. Let's go to sitting on our right hip, okay? So this time I have my elbow just below my shoulder and my knees are flexed. So we're doing the side bend. My heels are in line with my sit bones. So I have my forearm on the floor, my hand, palm of the hand pushing against the floor. You can have your hands, fingertips on the floor or hands resting on your hips. We inhale and then we will lift hips up towards the ceiling sideways and then inhale down, exhale, lift, inhale down. Make sure you're not collapsing through this arm. So keep this arm engaged. So let's do it 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So I move my head with my spine, so my nose in line with my chest bone, okay? So open your legs, lift your arm, the one that was on the floor, and then flex to the other side. So I'm lifting my right arm, flexing to the left, inhale, and just a quick flexion to the right as well. And then now we go to lying on our back. Let's do the 100, level 2. Use your arms to help your spine on the way down. Be gentle on your spine. From here, I will have one leg to tabletop, then the other leg, and then legs, knees above the hips, shin parallel to the floor, toes pointed. You can stay here, engage your legs, engage your core, shoulders away from the ears, arms down, engaged, pressing against the floor. And you can stay here for 10 breath cycles. Feel how your legs are working, how your quads are working, and your core to keep your legs in tabletop. Neck is neutral, looking up forward at the ceiling. For the next 5 breaths, I will lift my shoulders and head off the floor and my arms. You don't have to. If being the way you are is already enough, you can stay there for the end, for the second half of the movement of the exercise, or you can lift as well, head and shoulder and arms engaged. 2 more long breaths. Deep inhale, deep exhale, core engaged, lateral breath. Now bring my shoulders and head down, bring my knees in towards the chest, and I will draw circles with the knees in the air. So few circles to one direction, and then I change direction of the circles. Now bring your feet flat on the floor and then drop the knees to one side, push using the hand, and we're doing the side bend on the other side. So I'm lying, sitting on my left hip. My elbow is right underneath my shoulder. My left arm's engaged, left forearms on the floor. Just check in with your heels if they are in line with the sit bones, okay? Should be a straight line. I use the edge of the mat again for a guideline. Inhale, engage, exhale, lift. You can have your hands on your thighs. 2, 3. Engage your arm that's supporting your body. 3 more. 6, 7, 8, and relax now. Again, mermaid stretch. And to the other side. Now, let's lie on the floor, facing the floor, our tummy and our chest against the mat. You can extend your arms. I'll just move my mat a little bit so you guys have more and can see it better. So I have my arms extended. My thumbs are pointing up towards the ceiling, and my legs, my toes are pointed as well. So what I'll do is, on the exhale, I'll lift left leg, right arm. Inhale, bring them down. My face comes down, my chest. On the exhale, lift the other leg and the other arm, lift my chest and my face off the floor, inhale down. So let's do 8 times on each side, okay? So inhale, engage, exhale. 1. Legs extended, arms extended, toes pointed, and thumb up towards the ceiling. 2. 3. So use the arm and leg that's on the floor for leverage, pressing them against the floor as you lift the opposite arm and leg. Halfway there. 5. 8. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, all the way down. Now make a pillow with your hand for your forehead and just rock your hips left to right. Now push back into child pose, this time knees together, and then I'll bring my arms alongside my legs and my forehead to the floor, keeping my hips, my glutes in touching the heels, and I stay here for 2 breaths. When you're ready, you can push back onto seated and extend your legs in front of you. We have our hands flat on the floor behind our back, fingertips pointing towards the body. So my arms are at an angle. There's like an angle, they're not on a straight line, because I will exhale to push my hips up, engage my glutes. Now my arms are straight and my hands are below my shoulders. I stay here for 8 breath cycles. Keep your gaze somewhat lifted so you're not crunching the front of your throat. Toes are pointed, glutes are engaged, pushing the hips up. Engage your legs or quads. Halfway there. If you're too tired, you can sit back down. Don't have to stay here for the 8 breath cycles. Otherwise, you can stay if you can. Engage your core. One more long breath. And my glutes, my bones come down onto the floor. Then I bend my knees, and then I will hug, and I'll show you from facing the camera. Now I'll bring my chest towards my thighs, and then I'll hug my shin, wrap my arms around my shin, and lower my head. Just to neutralize my spine and my legs, to counter stretch my legs, my knee joints. And stay here to catch your breath. Really let go of the head and the shoulders, relax everything just for a second before we lift back to, we're doing the spine stretch. So sit back, sit upright. Your legs are extended in front of you. They can be slightly open, maybe hip distance apart or a little less or a little more, but average of hip distance. Arms are out in front of you. And from here, I will exhale to stretch forward. Inhale, come back to seated in neutral. Exhale, stretch forward, inhale. Let's do 7 more times. Each time, see if you find room to stretch, to fold forward a little bit further. Or you don't have to. Maybe you reach your limit and you just work around that range. Main thing is you're mobilizing your spine, your hip joints, working your shoulders by keeping the arms lifted as well. Fold forward with your chest open, gaze lifted. When you can't fold anymore, can't stretch anymore, then you lower your lift in your shoulders. Your gaze, sorry, lower your gaze in your shoulders. I'll do 2 more times. And back to neutral. Now I do the same stretch as we did for the spine twist. Open our collarbones in our chest, hands flat on the floor, shake the legs, look up. And we're doing the 1 leg stretch, but we're doing moving the arms with the legs. So let's lie on the floor, use our forearms or your elbows to help. So if you wanna have a look first, so bring the legs to tabletop. Back to neutral, knees over the hips. Sorry, I'll just fix my clothes here because they're in the way. Now, okay, so I'll have my hands. You can keep your head and your shoulders on the floor. Hands extend, arms extended, so hands are in line with the shoulders. I will exhale to extend 1 leg and 1 arm, opposite leg and opposite arm. So I have left leg, left arm. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the other side. So left arm, right leg. Inhale. So my legs engaged, my knees extended, my toes are pointed. Okay, so let's do 10 times each side, each leg, and each opposite arm. So starting now. Exhale. 1. 1. Keep your core engaged. Try and keep your body stable and engaged. 2. 4. 4. Okay, halfway there. So do your best to bring your knee to where it was above the hips And your hands in line with the shoulders. Keep your shin parallel to the floor. 2 more times each side. And last time. Now bring your knee in towards your chest. Bring your forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a big hug. Squeeze into a ball. And rest your shoulders and your head on the floor. You can massage your low back here for a second before you have your legs in tabletop. Open your arms and then drop your knees together to the right. Use your core strength. Look to the left. You can have your right hand on top of your knees, of your left knee. Or no, or you can keep your arms open and just resting on the floor. Stay here for 2 breaths and then inhale back to center. Using the core, float the legs back to center and then float them to the left. Float the knees, legs bent to the left. Then you can look to the right. So face to pine twist. 2 breaths. And on the next inhale, I will just bring my legs back to center, bring my foot flat on the floor. And then you can roll onto your side to push to seated. So it's safer to do it this way. And let's do the rolling back. So sitting at the top of the mat, inner arches of the feet are together, sit bones on the floor. So my hands and my arms, I'll be using them for guidance, for help and support. So look what I do. I inhale, roll back, exhale, come back to seated. I tuck my chin towards my chest, tilt my pelvis on the way back. Inhale, come back to seated in neutral. Inhale, roll back. Exhale, come back to sitting in neutral. So let's do 7 times together. Keep your chin tucked towards your chest to protect your neck and never, never roll onto your neck, okay? No pressure on the neck. So exhale, up. Inhale. I roll along the length of my arm. So my arm is actually telling me how to roll back. So 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Last one. And relax. Extend your legs. Maybe you can shake your legs. I will just suggest us do the last movement by lying on the floor, belly and chest. We just do the swan dive modification. So we have the arms on. I'll just show you guys from facing the camera. So arms are like this on a I surrender position or cactus position, elbows in line with the shoulders, and forearms are parallel to the edges of the mat. So engage your core, your legs are together and engage, top of the feet and pelvis pressing against the floor. I will exhale to lift my arms and my head off the floor. I inhale, lower them towards the floor, but don't touch the floor again. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale. Try and keep your arms or forearms in line with the ears, okay? Let's do it 6 more times. If you feel like you bring your elbows towards the ribs, bring them down, up towards the end where they are aligned with the shoulder, okay? And last one. And relax all the way down. Now you can make a pillow again with your hands, forehead on top of the hand, and you can shake. Rock your hips left to right. So I can open my arms here. So be careful with this stretch. If you're walking into pain, stop, okay? Or I start walking my left hand towards my chest, and I bring my left leg behind my right leg. So I'm rolling onto my right shoulder only if I don't feel pain on the shoulder. So my left foot is touching the floor behind my right leg. Stay here for 2 breaths. And then I roll to the other side. So chest and belly comes on the floor. Extend my left arm in line with the left shoulder, and then walking my right hand towards my body, right foot behind the left leg, rolling onto my left shoulder. 2 breaths. And then I come back to face the mat, push back into child pose. I sit onto my heels. Prioritize having your glutes onto your heels rather than your forehead on the floor. If your forehead touches the floor, great. If it doesn't, you can just relax your head down. Arms are engaged. Stay here for 2 or 3 breaths. Then push back to seated. You can seat here, crossed legs, and we're just doing a couple stretches before we finish the class, same way we started. So let's just roll the shoulders down and back, lift them towards the ears, draw them back and down, and then roll the shoulders forward. Now, draw circles with your nose. Imagine the tip of your nose is like a paintbrush, and you're drawing circles in the air. So it's not as much as intense as a stretch as it was at the beginning. We're just rotating the neck a little bit. Head comes back to center, and we can just cross the arm in front of the chest and push with the other forearm, and then you look to the side, and then do the same on the other side. Now, interlace your fingers, stretch your arm up, bring the arms down, bring them up again, bend the elbows, hands come towards the shoulder blades, push the arms back with the back of the head, stretch here, and release. Now, roll the shoulders with your hands on your shoulders, drawing circles with the elbows, reverse the circles, and let's do one more. Inhale, lift the arm, and exhale, flex to one side, push to seated. Inhale, bring the other arm around, lift, and flex. Push up, and we just release tension off the hips here. So that's it. You'll just be pumping your knees down towards the floor and interlace your fingers behind your feet and just release your hips before we finish the class. So just stay here for a couple breaths before you get up so you don't feel dizzy. Thank you very much for being here today, guys, and I'll see you on Thursday for our intermediate class. And have a nice evening. Thank you for today, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.